Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to Small Town Johnstown. I am Jenny here with my co host
Nick.
and Lexi. This is
Hi.
Lexi, famously owner of Luxe Aesthetics. Aesthetics?
Aesthetics,
I
yep.
I can never say that word.
When I first became an esthetician, I went to esthetician school and I didn't even know how to pronounce the word.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad.
So, what got you to esthetician school, and how did you, and then eventually decide to have your own business then?
Yeah, oh gosh, I gotta think back 7 years. So basically, when I was in high school, I was like told growing up that like you have to go to college. Like vocational school wasn't a thing, beauty school
Yeah.
wasn't a thing, Votech, like any of that. So I toured a bunch of colleges and I always thought like I'm going to college like after school.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to double major in social work and psychology. So like I wanted to be like a counselor, like a private therapist. And someone sat me down one day and they're like, your tuition bill is going to be over $100,000 a year, and like a therapist doesn't make that, especially around
I
this
was gonna say,
area.
where were you trying to go? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was looking into Penn State, University of Pittsburgh, Chatham University, like anywhere that was like in this area. And I told myself, I was like, it's kind of a scam to go to college and get into all this debt, even and you have to like pay it back your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So, my best friend, she went to Vodtech to be a hairstylist, and she told me the one day, she was like, Lexi, if you want to be a therapist, just become a hairstylist. Everyone tells their hairstylist
No,
everything.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
probably why I couldn't do it because I can only listen to so much
yeah,
in
yeah.
one
So,
day.
oh my gosh, yeah. So I took it literally. So
Yeah.
like I started looking into it, and then no offense to any hairstylists watching this, but like when I like think of like hair, like I think of like oil and grease and dandruff. I'm like I can't do that. So like I like looked into other things because I really wanted to be in the beauty industry. I just didn't want to do hair.
Yeah.
So I found out about esthetician school, but
Yeah.
like I couldn't even pronounce the word esthetician. So like I signed up for this program, and I started like 2 or 3 months after I graduated high school. And as I watched like all my friends from high school like go to college, like here's me like driving to Altoona Beauty School every day, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, is this what I want to do with my life? And I just didn't know. So I finished up my beauty school education. The program was 5 months long. I had a couple jobs and I ended up like really loving it. And now it's like I am a therapist. I can't legally like give advice, but I
Yeah.
can, talk to you as a friend while still making you feel good.
Yeah, anything with a one-on-one service is very much like talk you through it the whole time. Like anytime I get a
Yes, it's
tattoo,
a
like
very intimate service.
yeah, it's just back and forth conversation. And then when people come back, you have repeat clients,
Yeah,
especially for something like lashes, because typically they are going to come back and
for
get them
sure.
filled and stuff like that. So you really are building a connection with someone
Yeah.
one on one, even if, you technically can't give them
Right,
that
exactly. I
advice.
could like talk to you like as a friend.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool about my clientele. So I very rarely take new clients anymore
Yeah.
because most of my clients have been coming to me for 3, 4, 5 years.
Hmm.
I actually have one client who's been coming to me since I graduated beauty school. And I always think I'm like, oh my gosh, I charged you for lashes that looked absolutely
Yeah,
horrible, but
look
you
back and
continue to
yeah.
stick with me. And I always think I'm like, and she was my age, so I was like, oh my gosh, like I watched you graduate college, get your first like dream job, then you got like engaged, had kids, got married,
Yeah.
and it's just crazy to think that like she watched me blossom into my career, and I also watched her like blossom into hers. Like, and
Hmm.
I think that's like the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So when did you finally decide? Because you said you went to beauty school right at 19,
Yeah,
18, 19.
yeah, I was 18. I graduated when I was 19.
So was that right out of high school then?
Yeah, so I graduated high school in I think June, and then my program started in October. So I started a little bit later. So something that really like had me like second guessing like my decision was I saw all my friends like starting to go to college in August, and I wasn't going because my
Mm-hmm.
program didn't start till October. So I was like, oh my God, like, is this the right decision? Like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, should I take a gap year? Should I even do this? Like, there were so many thoughts racing through my head, and looking back, I should have just told myself, like, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it did end up being okay.
I mean, it's hard because you are always comparing yourself to other
For
people. And like
sure.
you said, I'm sure for you, senior year, my senior year was very stressful. I didn't know
Yeah.
what I was going to do until the very last second. And then they are pushing college
Yeah.
on you constantly. And beauty school, not everyone fully understands that, the beauty school dropout thing. And,
Yeah.
and, we talked a little bit earlier about how many people around here are hairstylists, are nail
Right, for
artists, or
sure.
lash artists, or whatever. So, how do you keep such a strong clientele that you basically aren't accepting new clients. And like we said, like it is very
Yeah.
expensive to get your
Yeah, for
lashes
sure.
done. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the way I see it is you really can't compare yourself to anyone but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are your own worst critic. So the way I see it is I'm friends with a lot of other beauty professionals in Johnstown,
Mm-hmm.
but I keep myself in a bubble.
Yeah.
And by that I mean I don't look at what any of my friends are doing or like what any other artist is doing, and I only do like what I feel is great. And I never realized that until I raised my prices, and then one of my friends the one day was like, "Lexi, you realize like you charge a lot more than most lash artists in Johnstown
Yeah.
do." And I was flabbergasted. I was like, "What?" So I started looking on other like people's websites and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god, like I do."
Yeah.
And then I just clicked in my head. I was like, "It doesn't even matter because I'm fully booked."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
why change if it's
Keep it
yeah,
going up.
so I was like and you know that price obviously wasn't based off of like any other lash artist or anyone that's in this like area, because I was just charging based off of like what I feel I deserve.
Yeah. I was going to say, how do you come up with that number? Is it something that they teach you in school, or you follow on social media and see how much people are charging? Like, how do you come up
Yeah,
with?
so I really don't know anything about like what people charge anywhere. Like I even have friends all over the country, and we have this big group chat. And
Mhm.
the one day we said in this group chat, I was like, where does everyone live and what do they charge?
Mhm.
And every single place was completely different.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend even like 3 hours away on the other side of Pennsylvania. She charges a completely different price than me.
Yeah.
And it like there's seriously no correlation between like where you live and like what you can charge.
Mhm.
Like there's artists in Pittsburgh that don't charge what I charge. Like
Yeah.
I actually charge more than them, and I'm like in little rural Johnstown.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I just feel like if you're good at what you do and you can conduct yourself in, you know, a positive way and just treat your clients and be passionate about what you do, then I don't think it matters what anyone else around you is doing.
Yeah, it's what the people are willing to pay.
Yeah,
And
for
if you're
sure.
fully booked, even if everyone else is half the price of you,
Yeah.
as long as you stay booked and busy and
Absolutely.
people are willing
Yeah.
to
You
pay
should
your
only
prices.
just worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it also comes down to we all have priorities when it comes to money. So, for instance, say you might not want to spend $235 on lashes,
Mhm.
but you might go to the makeup store and, you know, spend that.
Yeah.
Or you could like spend it on a gym membership, or, you know, maybe there's like a really like cool like jacket at the store that you want to buy that's not
Yeah.
like, you know, like everyone has like a different thing that they want to spend money on. So when someone tells me like, oh, like you charge too much, or, you know, I would never spend that on lashes, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm like very much like a DIY person. So like I will screw up my hair before I
Yeah.
will pay
And
hundreds of
you know what?
dollars
That's totally
to get
okay.
it done.
Like it's
Yeah.
your decision to do that, and no one should judge you for it. Like I even like always joke like I'm a Shein shopper, so like
Yeah.
I won't spend more than $10 on a shirt, but you know damn well I will spend $235 on my lash extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's just like what you
It's what you prioritize too. And I'm the same way with clothes. Like I try to thrift my stuff, but obviously Shein and
Mhm.
Temu and all that, but usually I will spend less than $10 on
Yeah.
a shirt, but won't bat an eye
Yeah.
at a $30 meal.
Yeah,
So
so that's what I mean. Like there's nothing wrong with like how someone wants to spend their money, and I feel like you as a business owner can't get mad at them for that, but at the same time they shouldn't be getting mad at you for that because
Yeah.
they don't have to come to you.
Yeah. It's hard to not take personally too, especially if your best friend like refused to ever come to you and try you out and because she didn't want to pay or whatever it is. But
Can I actually say something about that?
yeah.
Okay, my friends are gonna watch this and I'm really sorry. So basically, there's like a little thing in our industry that friends and family are actually your worst clients
Mhm.
Oh, I believe
because
that.
they're
Yeah.
comfortable with you. So like if they do something you don't like they'll call you out immediately.
Mhm.
Or you know, like they're the ones that like try to like work around the discounts or
Yeah,
whatever.
where's the
Yeah.
friends and family discount?
Yeah, exactly. So like I although I love my friends, if they go to another lash artist, I am 100% okay with that. In fact, I will refer you to Gabby or, you know, anyone else that's in Johnstown. So, yeah, that's
I love that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
mhm.
No, I can understand about the family thing, especially friends, because it's such a two-way street. Because as the person that is giving the service, she'd be like, "Well, you're my friend, you're my family. Like, why should I give you a discount when you're supporting me?" Kind of way.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go like, "Oh, well, I'm your friend and family. I should be getting a discount 'cause
Right.
Yeah.
I know you are a
Like
blood or
technically
something."
they should be your biggest supporters, but it's
Yeah.
not always like seen that way,
Mm.
which is totally fine. Like, I feel like I don't have a sister, but if I had a sister, I'd probably be like, hey, give me some free lashes.
Yeah, where's that $200 tip?
Yeah, like, so, like, I do understand it from both sides,
Yeah.
but, yeah, so I mean, I've had friends that go to other people, and I'm like, I'm literally okay with that, I promise.
It's not the barber system where if a guy goes to the barber, he's like cheating on him.
Right.
How do you feel about the cost of beauty services? Because I don't typically, I'm not like a great woman. Like, I don't keep up with myself.
Yeah.
You are a great woman.
You are a
Thank
great woman.
you.
Yeah.
I don't get my nails done. I don't get my lashes done, my hair done, anything like that. But I feel like if a woman did want to do that, or whoever wanted to get those services done, like, that is very pricey.
Yeah,
and I feel
for
like
sure.
society kind of is putting more and more pressure. Like, we're just adding more and more services. Like, people get the facials and the peels and all the extra.
Social media.
All the
influence.
razzle dazzle.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the pressure and kind of the never ending expense of like keeping up with the beauty standards?
Yeah, I don't feel any pressure.
Really?
I really don't. Like, I truly, like, when I say I keep myself in a bubble, I do. Like, for the longest time, like, I didn't know, like, how much certain things costed. Or, like, I feel like the big thing is, like, everyone always talks about how, like, when acrylic nails used to be $20.
Yeah.
By the time I started getting my nails done, nails were already, like, $60, $70, $80, $90.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, like, when I go to, shout out to Seja, because I know you'll watch this. That's my nail girl at Divine Form. She's amazing. But, you know, Seja charges, you know, $80, $90 for my nails, and
well, they look good.
Thank
so.
you. And they last a long time. So, like, I just, like, I don't know, like, I like her, and I choose to go to her. If it wasn't, like, in my budget, like, why yell at her and be like, you're expensive? You know what I mean? Now, I will say, it's really funny. I see, like, a never-ending, like, reoccurrence with my clients. Like, say I do get a new client and they have, like, acrylic nails or, like, their hair or something done, I'll notice, like, they'll get addicted to their lashes, and, like, little by little, they'll start coming in with, like, press-ons or, like, you know, like, clip-in hair extensions.
Because
or,
they only have so much in their
like,
beauty budget.
Yeah, and again, like, if someone ever wanted to take lashes out of their budget, like, I understand. It's completely okay. Like, I don't get butthurt over any of that.
Yeah.
It's business, and, like, with business, all great business owners shouldn't take those types of things personally. So if someone can no longer afford it, like, I understand.
Yeah.
Well,
If anything, I will refer them to a lash artist that is in their budget.
it also opens opportunity for you to get a new client.
For sure, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, there's always opportunities, and yeah, you just always got to look at it positively.
Yeah, I would struggle with that. I take everything personally.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I quit getting my nails done, I went like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, you know what? I don't know that I want to keep spending this much money getting my nails done. I could put this towards other things. I could save and do
Your
stuff
lashes.
like that. Huh?
You put it towards your lashes.
Yeah, like, I when I was a baby lash artist, like, when I first started out, I would have, how do I say this? So, like, at different points in your life, you attract different clients.
Yeah.
So naturally, when I was 19 years old, most other girls that were clients of mine, they were like my age or college girls.
Yeah.
College girls, like, you know, like, that you live on like a ramen noodle budget. So, like, I like, they would maybe get their lashes done once or twice and I'd never see them again. And I would take it so personally. Like, I would go home and I would get teary-eyed and I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Like, why don't they come back? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, should I quit my job as a lash artist? Like, I would get so personal about it. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, like, it's okay, because then, like, I would have new clients that come in that I absolutely adored. Not that I didn't adore, like, the old ones, obviously, but yeah, at any point in my life, like, you attract the clients that are supposed to be meant to you. And, like, the clients that I have right now, they're so awesome. They come in, like, we laugh and holler and giggle. And sometimes we're dropping the F-bomb in here because it's just us. But, like, you know, you get so personal with them that, like, it's like, wow, like, you're not just my client at this point. Like, I see you as a friend.
Yeah. Do you build, like, direct friendships? Like, do you ever meet anyone that comes in as a client and eventually you guys hang out and get drinks or something?
Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I have a couple clients that are like that. And it's so funny. Like, a lot of times it'll start because, like, I'll have a client that'll, like, invite me to their wedding or something.
That's cool.
And at that point, I'm just like, oh, well, you invited me to your wedding, so, like, we must be friends.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll just start hanging out. And, yeah, like, I have a couple of girls that did that.
That's
with.
awesome.
Yeah.
If you would have went to school for psychology and been a therapist, definitely
No,
could not have done that.
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, I never regret, like, a single moment in my life, like, not going to college. Like, if I could go back and tell 18-year-old Lexi, like, who is, like, so scared of, you know, making the right choice, like, I would say, like, pat on the back to you, like you were right where you're meant to be, and you have no idea the great things that are about to come towards you.
Yeah. Sometimes we do need to give our younger selves some grace.
Yeah.
Because it is very hard deciding what you're going to do. If you're going to go thousands of dollars in debt for school, or maybe you'll be a lash artist one day and then be totally sick of it and then or not succeed or whatever it is. So.
Absolutely. And like the way I see it too is like at 18 years old, not saying 18-year-olds aren't mature enough, but like you
it's very young.
It's very young. And then they, you know, like they say like your frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
I felt that.
Yeah, me too. The moment I turned 25, I feel like my whole world changed. I was like, what is going on?
Yes.
But basically, so like I look at it like an 18-year-old and I'm like, you can't expect someone that doesn't have their frontal lobe fully developed to make such a vast decision that's going to affect their entire life. Because yes, like you can have a career change, like you can, you know, get out of debt or something, or you can, you know, you can do all these things to like reverse your life, but what you do at 18, 19 years old ends up impacting your entire life. And it sure did impact mine, but very positively.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way though,
Right.
and that's why it is so tough to expect 18-year-olds, especially when maybe they're moving out or something like that and they don't have so much time to make a decision.
Right.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it
my
doesn't
gosh, yeah.
yeah, it doesn't always work out. So I'm glad it worked out for you, and hopefully some people listening that are, if we have 18 or 19-year-old listeners, know that there is that pressure, but whatever decision you make will be the right decision.
Yeah.
Everything will work out. It just takes time.
It just takes time. Like sometimes you have to go through the hard parts, which I definitely did.
Yeah.
To like look back and be like, wow, like I did all of that and like now I'm here. Because even at the beginning of my lash career, you know, like when I would say like girls would leave and I would take it personally, my first lash trainer like didn't train me to the fullest ability that she should have. So I sucked at lashes for like the first like 2 or 3 years of my career.
Yeah.
And so like I would do a full set and like they would be all gone in like 2 days, and like the client would never come back obviously, and they would ask for a refund, and I would literally go home and cry over it. I'd be like, I suck at this, like what am I doing? And during COVID I got to a point in my career where I decided to go back to nail tech school. Because I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be a lash artist. Like, this isn't for me. So I went to nail tech school. And I remember my first week of school, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I knew instantly nails were not for me.
Yeah.
So
Why is that? Should I?
So basically, not that I'm doing anything weird behind you, obviously, when I'm doing your lashes, but a lash client, your eyes are closed. So, like, I can sit there and I can zone out. I can just, like, you know,
You're not
listen
being stared at.
Yes, where, like, when my first day of nail tech school, like, when we started doing manicures, the girl was literally looking at me, like, watching me. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Because
Like,
they're seeing your every move.
yeah. Like, so, like, that's, like, my downfall. Like, I don't like watching people watching me work.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say because I'm an educator and now students watch me like while I'm teaching. But with a client relationship, I just feel like it's way too intimidating.
Yeah, very stressful.
Yeah. So I got out of nail tech school. So technically I am a nail artist. I'm just not a practicing one. And then I went back into lashing and I was like, okay, this is my last chance. Like, psychology didn't work out, being a nail artist didn't work out, like you gotta bust your butt and you got to do this. So I did. Like, I took all these trainings and I went all over the country learning lashes from like the best of the best, and then eventually I did become good. And I just think like it took like all those like tears to like get to where I am today.
Yeah, ups and downs.
Yeah.
So do you just do lashes?
So, lash extensions is like the bread and butter of my career.
Yeah.
I do lash lifts, which is a good alternative for girls who no longer want lashes or they just want something a little bit more low maintenance. And then I do brow services. I don't do any kind of cosmetic tattooing, but I do like the brow lamination, brow tinting, hybrid tinting, stuff like that. And I got into brows in 2020 as well because during the pandemic, when we had to wear a mask, your lashes and your brows were the only things that people follow you.
Yeah.
So that was like, wow, like maybe I should get into this. So like I dabbled in brows and got really good at that. And actually all of my lash clients that come to me now, like chances are they get their brows done with me too.
I was gonna say, how did you decide to choose those things specifically?
Yeah, so before I opened my business, I also did like waxing. And I actually had a big clientele for waxing. And when I moved here, I was like, I need to niche down and I need to pick 2 things I'm good at. And it just happened to be lashes and brows. And a lot of my waxing clients were sad, and I referred them to other people. But like it just that's what I chose. I was like, that's what makes sense for me. That's what I know, and that's what I'm good at.
that's kind of been the ongoing theme with the people we've interviewed, is to kind of master one or two things.
Yes.
And then build a client base on that.
It's so true. And it doesn't it doesn't even have to be the beauty industry. It could be any industry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you work in construction, pick one or two things you're extremely good at and like focus on that in your business. Or, you know, like if you are like a tattoo artist, for instance, pick one form of art that you're really good at it and stick with it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be a master of everything, because it's not going to work out in your favor ever. And I tell my students that too.
Yeah.
Pick one or two things that you're really good at. And you can even niche down like within your career. So like say like you're a hairstylist, and you really like vivid colors. Pick that and stick with it.
Yeah.
Don't try to do like anything else. Just master that one thing.
Yeah, because if you were also doing like nails or something, someone comes in here, doesn't like the nails,
Yeah.
they go leave a bad review. Now you have a bad reputation because you
Right.
did something you're not specialized in.
Exactly. And I'll even bring up Seja again, like my nail artist. Seja like does like the clean girl nails. So like she does like very like natural looking nails. Like she doesn't do any like crazy designs. And even when people ask for that, like she'll like literally tell them like, hey, like this isn't like what I like to do.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure people get mad at her for that, but it's
Yeah.
just like she's niched down.
I mean, if
and
you have
she
the clientele,
specializes
do
in
what
the-
you like to do. Yeah.
the beautiful like dainty nails. Yeah, and that's why I'm her client, because I like dainty stuff. So I was like, naturally, I'm just drawn to you versus like, you know, someone who does like the decked out bling nails, and that's totally fine too. It just, you know, there's a client for everyone.
Yeah.
I guess from my point of view, I've kind of had the opposite from you guys. When I was 18 and I quote unquote finished high school, I just wasn't really that stressed about it, because the only person, like my mom and my sister, stressed me out because they were pushing me going to college, because that was, you know,
The thing.
normalized thing to do. But I was like, all right, sure. So then I rushed into, surprisingly, what ended up kind of being the path I chose later in life, but like just sports marketing. But I don't really
Cool.
want to do sports marketing. I mean, sports marketing is all right, but I really want to do sports media more. So then I eventually came back to college years later, but I did drop out eventually and just work in the workforce and see how badly that sucked. And I was like, you know what? I see my sister going to college, and that inspired me back to college. That whole story, Ray's heard it before. But yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't that pushed or stressed about it. But that's me. I'm a little more laid back than
Yeah,
the
I was
average
gonna say,
person.
I just think that might have to do with like her life. I've always just felt pressure and stress. I don't know if that's because I'm a woman or not.
And a first child, kind of in a way.
Yeah, like I have an older brother, but he didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Like my parents both went. But yeah, so it wouldn't have been like first gen or anything, so it wasn't that much pressure. But I was like, I need to get out of the house. I need to make some money.
Yeah.
Like I need to get educated, because I was like really good in school. So it was like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's what I'll do, because that's all I know how to do.
Right.
See,
So-
I was not good in school, so I was like, why would I continue it? I hate writing.
Right.
Reading sucks.
Well, that's like even me. Academically, I am very smart, but I'm one of those people where like it has to be on my terms. So like for
Yeah.
instance, like in school, I love to read, but if a teacher told me to read a book, like I hated it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So it's one of those things where it's like academically you could be smart, but college still doesn't have to be for you.
Yeah.
And I know college would not have been for me.
So talking about college and stuff, you said that you dropped out and did the schooling that I'm not even going to try to say because I wouldn't look for aesthetic
Esthetician.
esthetician.
Perfect.
But so you also do social media. You do social media for your best friend. I don't know if she's your best friend,
Yeah,
but
she's
Lexi.
my bestie.
Yeah, your bestie Lexi. Was
Bestie
that
Lexi.
was that self-taught? What are some ways that keep you focused on social media? Because I know it's a point of struggle for me, especially with this podcast. I struggle to keep up with the social media
Yeah,
aspect. I'm
For
not
sure.
good at it in a way. I can come up with ideas all you want. It's just the other parts that
Right,
Like
like
actually
executing
doing it.
it.
yeah, and for the consistent posting and everything. Like, how did you teach yourself to be more active in the social media and become
Yeah,
good at
for
it?
sure. So with being in the beauty industry, not just a lash artist, you have to wear a lot of hats because you are your own customer service. You are your own janitor. You are your own receptionist. You're your own social media marketer. You're the lash artist, like, and you're, you know, your accountant, and like you're all these things.
Yeah.
So when I like got to this point, like I was forced to learn how to do this stuff. My like suite mate here that I rent the studio with, like Carissa, Photographs with Chris, I literally went out and bought a camera just so I could learn photography, just to the point of like being able to take like good photo shots. And Riss like kind of helped me with that. I was like, I'm not out here trying to be a wedding photographer. I just want to take a picture of an eyeball. But with that, so I took that and I saw a direct correlation that like when I post, I get interaction online. When I don't, the algorithm goes down, and then you know your photo will get 2 likes. So I just got into the habit of posting quality things because I'm not I believe in quality over quantity. Like I'm not one of those people that like online people will ask me, they're like, what's your schedule for posting like? And I'm like, I don't have a schedule. I just post when I want. But when I do post, I make sure it's really, really good. And very like aesthetically pleasing, and like, you know, it brings out feelings in people. So I use that and I just ended up being really good at it. And then fast forward to Lexi opening up Sweater X. When she started dabbling with that thought, I was like, I fully support you and I love you. But the only exception is I want to run your social media. And the reason why I said that was because with my own business, and especially my education business, like connecting with women like all over the country and the world, social media marketing like truly impacted my own business. Even though it's like a baby business, it's so successful because of my social media. And I've seen a correlation of new businesses around here failing in their first couple years because they don't know how to run their social media. So I told Lexi, I was like, I care for you and I care for this business, and I'm going to see it as Lex's baby cousin. So I want to run your social media because I have the talent for it. And so far it's taking off. Like Sweater X isn't even open yet, and we have so many followers and views and likes online, and people come up to me and Lexi like, you know, in public and like talk about it, and it like makes me feel so good that knowing that like the first day that Sweater X is open, it's going to be booked.
I know you surpassed us in social media.
I was like,
not been open yet.
They have more followers than us in like a week. I was like, maybe we should hire Lexi. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm serious. Like, and like that's the like the whole thing. Like, if no matter what business it is, because I know nothing about running a gym, obviously. Like, I'm in the beauty industry, but I know enough about social media marketing.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. Like, I'm honestly sure, like I know, like, very little about your guys' podcast other than, like, Gabby's episode and Lexi's episode. But I'm sure just based off of what you guys do, I could make you, like, a really bomb social media account.
We'll have to consider that.
I tried making the schedule. We tried coming up with ideas. Somebody's not very consistent.
I procrastinate. I can't help it.
And with me, like, being so busy the way
anxiety.
we do it. See, my anxiety is the opposite. My anxiety, like, makes me work. Which, like, sounds horrible, but, like, it's like, I need to get this done because I'll think about it before bed and then I won't be able to sleep. So, like, people will ask me, like, how do you, like, run Sweater X's social media while also doing your own whole business? So the way I do it is, you know, I'm here from 10 to 7 every day, sometimes longer. And then during the day, Lexi will send me content, or like we're both type A personalities. So like we like rely on lists. She'll text me a list of things that need done. And then by the time I go home and I get my nice comfy robe and like I'm drinking like a, you know, little coffee and like I have my iPad in front of me, like I can just start like, you know, going on Canva and making these posts. And it's fun for me. Like it doesn't feel like work.
No, I love graphic design and coming up with
like it's so fun,
stuff.
especially like if you're an artistic person. So I like, people ask me all the time, they're like, how do you find time for this? But I'm like, there's 24 hours in a day, and you figure the average person sleeps about 8 hours, so that's 16 hours that you're awake. So you cannot tell me that you can't go to work for 8 to 10 hours, come home and shower and eat food and see your partner, go to the gym, you know, like work on yourself, and then sit down for 30 minutes and film a podcast or, you know, make social media. Like, you have time. You just have to manage your time correctly.
Yeah.
And you have to not get so frustrated with when you don't get it the way you want it. First.
Well, that's why it's very important to do a little bit every day. Like that's why I can't procrastinate, because if I have a whole project to do and it's due the next day,
Yeah.
I will go crazy. That's when
For
I get
sure.
frustrated. So I try to do a little bit of whatever it is over time. And no offense to you either, but it is very hard for us to do social media and keep up with the podcast because it's like we're not getting paid to do this.
Right.
This is just something we're trying to do for fun. So like work and bills and all that come first, and then we're just kind of doing this
For
in the
sure.
background.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find a relaxed time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if it makes you feel better, like even as someone who's self-employed, it feels like I'm working for free too. Like when I like obviously no one's paying me to sit down and make a post for Luxe. I don't get paid until that client comes in.
Yeah.
Or that student books
Yeah, that's
a
what
lash
matters
appointment.
at
You know
the
what
end
I
of the
mean?
day, yeah.
And like it's the same with Sweater X. So I told Lexi, I was like, don't even put me on a payroll because realistically the money is gonna go towards spin classes anyway. So she just pays me in free spin classes. Like even though it's not open yet. And I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
I would be too.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, like is at this point I solely do it because I care about both businesses.
Yeah, Lexi, if you want to sponsor us with free spin classes, we'll
Yeah.
give you a shout out every
Lex.
time.
Beginning of every
Sponsored by
episode.
Sweater X. See, it's one.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Exactly.
She's gonna watch this and then text me. Hi Lex. I almost like personify our businesses. So like Luxe is my baby. Like that's I care for it and I love it and it's grown into this amazing thing. And then Sweater X is like its baby cousin. Like I see myself as like Sweater X's like aunt.
Yeah.
And like I know it sounds really weird, but like when you personify your business or your podcast or whatever it is that you have passion for, and if you personify it to seem like a little like baby human, it makes you like think of it differently.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you nurture it more. And yeah, I'm like, well, this is my baby and I gotta feed it and attend to it. So that's how it works out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can use that analogy. Jenny hates kids, so.
But you can see
Just kidding, just kidding.
you can see it as like if you want your podcast to get like more views or likes or whatever it is
Yeah.
you want, you could be like, okay, the baby needs nurture today. We need to sit down on the
Yeah,
couch
make a
for
list.
Yeah, feed
30
the kid
minutes.
today.
And,
You're a pretty big
Yeah,
deadbeat.
seriously.
Okay.
I am.
Yep.
This is my forgotten child.
I'll do that. Like I'll be like, oh, Lux needs fed, and I'll go to like Cosmoprof and like pick up like cleaning supplies or something I'm running low on, and you know, like that. If you look at it that way, I just feel like it does make you a better business owner.
Yeah.
As funny as it sounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty strange, but I love it. I
It's very
respect it.
strange, but I feel like it clicks in people's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of answered this already, but you have always done Lex? Like you've never worked for anybody else?
I actually hopped around salon jobs,
Oh, really?
and I feel like that's like really frowned upon. So basically, when I was straight out of beauty school, I was hired at a med spa in Evansburg, and I worked there for 1 year. And I wasn't making enough money there, so I also worked at a hair salon in Altoona at the same time. They, the med spa found out I had a second job, which is frowned upon because like they don't like clients being stolen. So they basically told me like, you quit this job right now or we're firing you. So I quit the job, and then I was so like mad at this job that I was like, you know what? I don't want to work for you anyway.
Yeah.
So then I went to a hair salon that happens to be like a minute down the street. We could walk there right now.
Yeah.
And I worked there for 3 years maybe, or 4 years, maybe 4 years. And I'm not gonna lie, I hated that job. Like they overworked me to the point of like I would work an 8-hour day and take like 10 to 11 clients. And I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah.
And like I would ask them like, please stop overworking me, and like they just wouldn't listen. And then at one point they were making me go to their second location. It was like just a lot of driving, and I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do this. Like I was, and that's why I went to nail tech school, because this job made me so burnt out that I was like, I don't even want to be a lash artist anymore.
Yeah.
And so then I quit that place because I thought the grass was greener on the other side. And then I started at another spa, and I was a lash artist there, and this was actually my dream job. And then one day I walked into work and they fired me on the spot. No questions asked. To this day I still don't know why. But I remember like I started work at 11, and by 11:15 I was in my car driving home and like calling my fiance and like being like, I just got fired, what do I do? And like he's like, we're gonna solve this. So like we like went to the bar that night and got a pitcher of beer, and I sat there with my iPad, and I literally I got my EIN number, like I got my LLC, I started ordering stuff on Amazon, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I just know that I have two options. I can either work for another employer that's not going to make me happy, or I can be my own employer. And everyone around me would tell me like being a business owner is so hard. I'm sorry to say, I'm 2 years into it, and I think being a business owner is very easy because I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this, sometimes it makes me mad that I just didn't do this like years ago.
Yeah.
Because I look back and I'm like, I was so miserable with these employers that didn't care about me, and I didn't have to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I just let them walk over me. So I always say getting fired was like the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like everybody says I should have done it earlier, but it's all about your experience and your touching point in
Absolutely.
life. 'Cause
You had to be pushed to a
yeah,
certain point.
if you didn't have those horrible experiences, maybe you wouldn't have had the motivation
Exactly.
to keep going.
And honestly, looking back, and I even tell my students this when they come in for classes, the reason why Lux is so successful and fully booked and, is bringing in profit is because I had 5 years of experience before I even opened. So my first day here, I was booked out 3 weeks in advance because all my clients from the old job were waiting for me to open.
That's awesome.
And by the way, I opened on the 3 week anniversary of me getting fired, which is like pretty crazy. Like, I called like Frank Burns' office and I was like, you need to get an inspector in here. And yeah, like, I opened very quick because I just wanted to see my girls. I cared about them that much. But yeah, like, I just feel like Lux wouldn't be Lux if it wasn't for the fact that for the first 5 or 6 years I went through all that stuff. Because like all that hard stuff is like what brought me here, and that's why I have such a great clientele and they're loyal, and I'm friends with a lot of them now, and yeah, I honestly wouldn't change a thing. So like I said, like, I get mad sometimes looking back, but I was like, Lexi, like, you had to go through that first.
Yeah.
So, since you're very on social media and you're into beauty for your career, how do you feel about the impact social media has had on women with beauty standards currently?
So I feel like with beauty standards, it is all about, just like when we talked about business earlier, you have to keep yourself in a bubble. Like, for instance, like, nothing against Kylie Jenner, but at one point, like, when like the big lip trend
Injection?
was happening,
Yeah.
I was a teenager when that happened, and like, it really made me feel so down on myself, even as a 17, 18-year-old. Like, it actually made me depressed sometimes. So one day I blocked Kylie Jenner like on Instagram, and I haven't seen her pop up on my Instagram in literally 6 years. Like, that's how long I've had her blocked. And I saw a direct correlation between like me feeling bad about myself because I'd be like on like Kylie Jenner's Instagram like all day, and then me blocking them and be like, oh, you know what? I'm beautiful just the way I am. It's fine. And yeah, like, I just feel like comparison is your worst enemy. So the way I see it is, you're never gonna make anyone happy, and I mean, you can, like, you just can't compare yourself, because like, for instance, like with like the gym, for instance, like, yes, we promote like every size is beautiful, and like, you don't have to be a certain weight to like be fit, but a lot of people also come to spin because they want to lose weight. I'm also on a weight loss journey. Like, I lost 35 pounds this year, but just because I lost
Send me some tips.
it's hard, but like, for instance, like, just because I lost 35 pounds last year doesn't mean I think any less of someone who's bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's your own personal journey. And it's the same thing with like lashes. Like, just because like I might not today, but like, just because I walk around with like these big thick lashes on, I don't look at a girl like you and think like, oh, you're not as good as me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like comparison is a thief, and like, if you like see those beauty standards online and you think that, like, it's a problem deep within you, and like, you just need to get help for it. Therapy, it's your mental health, so like, I just don't compare yourself online, and if you feel like you are, like, that's deep rooted in you. Don't like shame other people,
Because you'll never be satisfied. Somebody will always be whatever. You'll have a plane, but somebody have 3 planes.
for sure.
Lacking in the plane department, or you're about as skinny as, because some people can never be a certain skinniness because
sure.
of the body type.
There's always going to be someone skinnier with nicer hair, bigger lashes, like whatever.
Or whatever Photoshop they do on social media that it makes it unrealistic to achieve anyway.
Yeah,
absolutely. So
Or
like,
what
and
they
like,
pay for
even like, for instance, like when a client comes in here, say like, oh gosh, my girls are going to hate me, but I've known them long enough that I can say this. Say a lash client comes in and they just have a lash fill booked, but I can see that they need a brow wax. I'm not going to ask them, hey, do you want a brow wax?
Yeah.
Because what if they're okay with the way their brows look? You're going to make them feel self-conscious, and then they're going to think about it all week.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I think you should mind your own business. If you don't like what someone's doing, or, you're jealous of someone else of what they're doing, like, I think that's like a deep-rooted issue within yourself. Like, for instance, say like online you see a girl that has tons of work done, like she has like this beautiful body and like this big butt and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You can be a hater and be like, oh, she looks so fake. But I look at her, I'm like, oh my God, she's hot.
Yeah.
And I look nothing like her, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we choose to live two different lifestyles and we both have different like beauty standards, and like that's okay. And I think that's the beauty of the beauty industry.
Yeah, for sure. And if you feel offended or triggered, don't like seeing something makes you feel bad, block.
Yeah.
Just block.
Yep. And one thing I would like to say is, because this has happened to my clients, girls will come in and get lash extensions, and then they'll go home and immediately someone's like, why did you get those? You didn't need them, or you didn't need to spend the money on them. They're jealous.
Facts.
They're jealous that they can't spend the money on them and that your client can.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So earlier you said that running a business, being your own boss, is very easy as opposed to what people had said. What would you say if you had to pick something is the hardest part about?
Is the hardest part about my job? Time. That's serious.
Like managing your time or having enough time? Or...
there's this quote in business, and it's, you can trade your money for time, or you can trade your time for money.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, like, if I'm in here working 10 hours a day, yes, I'm making money, but I don't have time to, like, do anything else in my business. So there's times I stay after work unpaid because I'm my own boss and I'm mopping my floors, or, taking my trash out, or, like, the little things like that. It's like, I wish I had more time in a day so I could actually leave, like, when work ends, And, but on the flip side, you could outsource things and, pay someone to do it for you. Like, for instance, like Lexi, like, like with the Sweater X stuff, like Lexi can actually work on her business because she has me to do all the social media stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like trading time for money, if that makes sense. Or in my case, free spin classes. So like, and I'm at a point in my career where I really need to start outsourcing things, but I'm just scared because again, it's like, I don't want to say I'm a control freak. It's just like that type A personality type. Like, if I outsource someone to do something for me, I want them to do it exactly like how I would do it.
If you're spending the money on it, it needs to be done exactly how you want it.
So I will say, like, I manage it, but I would say that is the hardest part of running a business. Learning how to trade my time for money or my money for time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about what you value. I mean, does it have to be exactly money? Because like you said, you're doing the social media for spin classes. That's like just whatever you're trading.
Yeah.
Trade of services.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
For sure.
And
people do around here, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if you told one of your girls, like, hey, if you help me take out the trash, I'll give you 30% off discount on lashes. I'm sure they'll be coming here every trash day. Gloves on.
Yeah, like, I am trying to think of like a good instance. Like, one of my really good friends, she's my lash artist. She's been doing my lashes for 5 years, and
you don't do your own lashes? Could you?
You can't. It's really, you cannot do that yourself. Like, I feel like you could do your own hair if you wanted to, your own nails. You cannot do your own lashes. But basically, like, we got to a point where we're like, we do each other's lashes all the time. Like, why are we even like paying each other? Because like I would like pay her, and then like a week later she would like hand the money back to me. I'm like, this is stupid. So like, we do trade, but
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm like, when it comes down to it, I just like to lash. Like, I love lashing, and I love talking with these women. Like, there's times where, like, I'm checking out my girls, and they'll be like, Lexi, you didn't check me out. And I'll be like, oh, my God, you could have just, like, ran out of here with free lashes, and I would have never known about it. Like, money is seriously, like, the last thing I think about, like, when I'm actively in here with my clients.
Yeah, because you're in the zone, too.
Yeah. Like, I love the connections I make with them. I love lashing, and yeah, like, I genuinely love what I do. Money is a bonus, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
See, we like doing this, and I would do this more if I could afford to do it.
Yeah,
without it.
sure.
I mean, I want to, like, if we could live somehow and do podcasts, that'd be great, and eventually charge people and everything that we want to do in the future and plans like that. But because I like doing this, I just like talking to people, and that's what really got me into it. And and then but
we can still go to beauty school. There's a lot of talking back and forth.
I'm not artistically
You
creative.
go to beauty school, and then you can come here and get your lash certification.
Yeah.
That's more of a Jenny.
And then re-listen to this podcast, and you'll see everything that I had to go to do this.
Yeah. Jenny's works some tough
And then
jobs.
you'll re-question everything that we just talked about.
It's not really a question. I think it's funny. I forget what you were talking about, but you said like the last time or something, but I thought you said like the lash. So I was thinking like, yeah, like this is your last. You should tell people somebody's leaving. This is your last time.
You know what's so funny? One of my friends who owns Light Heart Lash, which is like the lashes that I use here that are on my walls. We actually won Best Lash Brand. It's that picture over there in California this year. But anyway,
California.
yeah. So like I travel a lot for work. But
One day that'll
basically,
be us.
yeah, it's awesome.
One day.
But basically, like off of what you just said, her and her husband have a lash podcast, and it's called My Lash Two Brain Cells instead of like My Last Two Brain Cells.
That's great.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
And that podcast is actually what inspired me to like make a podcast. So yeah.
That's cool.
So, did you have any inspirations or mentors throughout your time of lashing? I know you said that your one professional when you did lashes wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But obviously you're really good at it because you're very successful. Did you have somebody that eventually along the way did give you some good advice and everything, or even the social media route?
I have so many, and I'm still connected with them to this day, which I'm very thankful for. I've traveled to New York City, and I've worked with Lashbox, which is a major lash company in the lash industry. And I've gone to Austin, Texas, and I worked with someone called Lash Guy Pro, who is another like leading industry artist. And I've gotten close with Maddie Morris of Light Heart Lash, which obviously worked out for me. And then within Light Heart Lash, I'm an ambassador, and that's where like my group chat with all my friends all over the world are. And those girls are just normal lash artists just like me. So like, and I'm so inspired by even them. And you know, like even when I go to these lash conferences and I like see my mentors, and you know, I get to talk to them face to face, and it's just so cool that I can say that everyone wants to say like they're self-taught, but like I find pride in knowing that my mentors were like the best of the best. And like, because education is not something that you should take for granted, and it can't be taken away from you. So when you get opportunities to learn from people who are better than you, like you should take it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So what do you plan on always being in Johnstown? Do you plan on eventually moving out and expanding your business? What has kept you in Johnstown?
Yeah, so obviously never say never, like you know, like you never know where like life takes you. I love Johnstown. My whole clientele is here, and you know, like I said earlier, like a lot of my clients have been with me for years and years, so like at this point I feel like I'm like attached to them. I can't leave. But how my business is expanding is with my education business. I have students that contact me like all over the country. I have a student right now that I'm signing it from New Orleans. Like she's gonna be flying here to, you know, be lashed. And I do group trainings and I do personal trainings, and like all these lash artists from like all over the country follow me, and you know, they'll like DM me and ask for advice, or I even do like mentor calls. So like the other day, like I did a mentor call with a girl from Denver, Colorado, different time zone, and like we had to figure that out. So I'm okay with my business being here in Johnstown because my business is so much bigger than Johnstown.
Yeah.
It's quite literally all over the country.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is more than just a lash business.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I'm totally okay being here, and you know, the cost of living in Johnstown is relatively cheap, so like if that means I can go wherever I want in the world and travel, so be it.
Yeah, because I mean, well, do you have any pets or anything?
No pets and no kids.
No pets.
So I'm in my hustler era. I can, you know, work those 12-hour days and then go on vacation.
Not worry about
Traveling all over.
I can just, like here in 2 weeks, like we're going on vacation for 11 days, and I'm just like, it's so funny because it's like that's your time to like finally relax and not hustle. But I know dang well that I'm gonna be on a beach chair somewhere, like looking through my DMs and you know, answering lash artists and so.
Working on Lexi's other X video.
Yeah, Lexi will send me a video and be like, "Can you get this done by tomorrow?"
All right. I think it's enough time to wrap up. Do you want to give any more shout outs to people? Maybe people even mentioned throughout the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I have so much shout outs.
You have good 10-15 minutes.
Okay. So I will shout out Lexi from Sweater X, and I'll also shout out Gabby and Jen from Bewitching Beauty, because they were the first ones to shout me out here, and that's how I led to you guys. I'll also shout out Seja at Divine Nails, or Divine Form Nails. I'm sorry, I'm like talking so much at this point. Trying to think who else. Brittany at Own Beauty. My friend Kaylani Gunning, that's like my lash artist. She's down in Bedford. All the Sweater X team, because I love you all so much. And my clients.
Right.
I love you all. So I'm sure you guys will watch this. So I just want to say I love you a lot.
And the other lash artist from your ambassador text thread. Or the
Yeah,
text that you have.
yeah. Can I also shout out the Cutie Pie Lash Angels from Heaven? That's our group chat name. So they'll know what I'm talking about. So.
Can't forget about that.
Yeah, they're the best. Yeah.
And also your podcast.
Oh yeah, so I also have a podcast. It's like another thing added to my resume.
It's so long.
Yeah, I have a podcast called Lash and Yap because obviously I like to yap, and that's what I've been doing to you guys this whole time.
Yeah.
It's with my friend Courtney, who's also a lash artist. She's based out of Seattle, Washington, so there's a 3-hour time zone difference between us. But it's about 2 lash artists that just like to yap. That's all it is to it. Like, we have no script or anything for our podcast. So even if you're not a lash artist, you can listen to it, but it is a little rated R. We talk about some spicy stuff.
I love it. Oh, I'm tuning in tomorrow.
So don't, if you're a lash artist watching this, don't watch it with your clients. But yeah. So yeah, shout out to Courtney and Lash and Yap as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
This is Nick
Jenny?
from Small Town Johnstown here with
Lexi.
Thank you for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check out some of our previous episodes. Have a good day.